Obsession is the latest 2026 horror film written and directed by 26-year-old filmmaker Krury Barker, and it was made in only a month. And now it's making triple its budget. And it's easily one of the most disturbing horror films that I've seen all year long. A completely fresh and original concept making wishes scary is something that I never thought I would ever see put to film, let alone done well on a micro budget. Here's why Obsession is so freaking
I hope you
good.
guys like that little intro, but I really got to talk about this movie because it's quite literally been an obsession. I am low-key obsessed with how good this movie turned out. I want to say the actress who played Nikki. Oh my god, she is so she is so unpredictable as this character with this veil over her that makes her obey the wish, if you will. It's all very, 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 very good acting. The guy who played Bear is another character who makes the wish. He's our guy that we follow. He's our lead character, and he particularly is the one responsible for making the wish, but he also technically becomes more of the villain. He's shown more as this very awkward, shy guy, which a lot of rom-coms kind of, cutesify that, but this is a horror movie, so he's obviously going to be a lot more on the creepier side. And he's definitely a little bit of a creep. He's not very funny, he's not very charming, he kind of weirds her out. Nikki doesn't really want anything to do with him, but he ends up making that wish with the One Wish Willow, which is a really cool concept. I genuinely want to own one of those as a little memento to this film. And, well, the tagline, be careful what you wish for, that's pretty much true. That's exactly what this movie is. Be careful what you wish for. He wishes for her to be madly in love with him, to love him more than anybody else in the world. And, well, he gets that, but he ends up creating this psychopathic person in the process. And there's a lot of questions with how this actually works. I found myself questioning this a lot, in the good way, because this is the kind of movie that will make you think. And it makes me think, is she possessed? Is the wish actually a witch? What is it? What's taking control over her? And the actress herself actually says that it's actually just a wish. We're just supposed to think it's a wish. So, yeah, wishes are scary. I love how unpredictable she was as this character. She'll be screaming in your face, and then she'll be calm and cutesy. And then there was one scene with the guys' night out that was just hilarious, but it was so freaking uncomfortable. I was cringing in the uncomfortable, like, I feel like I'm around a serial killer kind of way. And, God, just her performance and his performance as well. The cast, mwah, chef's kiss. They all did a spectacular job on this movie. I am so unbelievably impressed with how this movie turned out. The music and the soundtrack, I'd say it's as unpredictable as Freaky Nikki. That's what they call her in the movie. But, oh my god, it just pierces your soul. It really does. It just hits you. And you go from being not point A to point B, but you go from being from like 10% unsettled to like 100% disturbed in just a matter of seconds. And this movie, oh my god, it somehow makes obsessive loving relationships scary. It really does. It makes obsessive people scary, and it makes wishes. So it's an entirely new thing, because most of us would want to wish for something like that. We would want to wish for a hardcore crush in our lives to be in love with us, to always be obsessed with us, but we never think about what would actually occur. And this movie this movie treats it like, oh, no one's gonna believe that I just snapped a piece of wood and my wish came true. Yeah, no one's gonna buy this shit. This is never gonna work. Oh, fuck. Well, how am I gonna explain this shit? I guess I'm not, because I'm just dumb, and I'm just gonna keep living with this and act like nothing is wrong. At least I'm getting plenty of pussy. Seriously, the characters in this movie, they do make dumb decisions. Bear particularly. But I want to talk about him, actually. I want to talk about Bear. Bear's an interesting character because he's not your titular good guy. He's definitely more on the side of a villain. And this movie, I think, sets him up to look more like a sexual predator in a way, because there's a tragedy here with Nikki that the wish controls her body, or this veil, whatever it is. It controls her body and it kills off the original Nikki and completely takes over her body. So there's a tragedy there. Nikki is there, being present, getting sexually used, getting taken out on trips, the guys' nights. It's not her, though. She has moments where she'll snap back out and she'll realize what's happening. She'll realize that she's in bed with this guy, which, by the way, that was some of those scenes when they do that. Those are some of the most tasteful jump scares I have seen in a horror movie yet. I never expected it. Oh my goodness. But it's tragic for Nikki. It's definitely tragic. Oh my goodness. And it's tragic on Bear's end too. I will say, I think something that I don't really agree with was how exactly did the cat get in the bottle of pills? I thought that was a little weird. But again, maybe you can just write that off as, oh, well, maybe he just didn't leave it tight enough, or the caps come loose and he knocked it over and the cat got into it and the cat died. And that's another thing she does really well. And Krury Barker added this detail in a really, really intense scene, the she's sleeping scene, if you know what I'm talking about. She moves like an agile cat, kind of. She kind of acts like his cat. And I realize she does that because that's what he loved most at that point in time. In the beginning of the movie, the cat overdoses on his pills and dies, and you get a sequence of him mourning at his bedside, just mourning, bawling, sobbing his eyes out. And so that's a little detail that they do with her. It adds to the unpredictability of her character. And God, Jesus Christ, she is so freaking scary when they work with lighting. They do kind of like the Pennywise thing where you only like see the glow of the eyes, so you know like the eyes are there, but it's so darkened and blacked out, you can't see her face. You can barely make out her face, and she'll say some of the creepiest stuff. She'll say some of the most unsettling things that I don't think I've heard in any kind of horror movie ever before. The writing particularly, especially when they execute her scenes, it's masterful. It really is pretty great writing. Everything just feels so realistic and so natural, and I think that's what Krury Barker here got so well. Man, I loved this movie. I absolutely loved this movie. This is easily one of the most disturbing films of 2026. It's probably the best horror movie of 2026. I've never seen anything like it. It does kind of it's a new concept. It's a new take on the idea of the wish, where, you know, in a lot of other movies where characters make wishes, they verify it, and it's like, they get that verification where it's like, oh yeah, it's the wish. The wish made me 10 feet tall, or like in Big, oh, the wish turned me into an adult. But it's not like Big. They don't want to blame magic. They think that's just like some stupid thing. They're like, oh, well, no one's gonna believe that. And so I thought that was a really nice new take on what a wish would be like in today's setting, more like. Obsession. Mwah. A++++. If you haven't seen this movie yet, what the fuck are you doing? Go see this movie. Do yourself the favor and go get yourself a movie ticket so we can probably get a sequel to this, because I love this movie. I will probably buy a prop of a One Wish Willow, and I'll never explain it to anybody. I'm just going to have it here on my shelf. And if anybody has any questions about it, it's you know. Anyway, that's besides the point. Absolutely love this movie. Would 10 out of 10 recommend to anybody else. The cast was magnificent. The music was magnificent. The directing was incredible. Some of the scariest, most unsettling things I've ever seen in a horror film. It's definitely comedic at times as well. There's plenty of comedic parts to it, but my God, it's unsettling. It's unsettling as fuck, and I loved it. Would see more of this director, Curry Barker. I cannot wait to see what else you make. I love that we are in this time that YouTubers are finally getting their hand at filmmaking, and it's so inspiring. You got Iron Lung, you got Shelby Oaks, you got Backrooms, which is coming up, by the way. Stay tuned for that. I will be reviewing Backrooms. And I just love this new era that YouTubers are ushering in the new age of cinema, whether it be horror or comedy, anything. It's insane. If you enjoyed my review, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will be getting back to you guys next time.